Joining us now on the Oakland County Megacast is the owner of Sprigs Floral Design. Her name is Sheila Clayton, and she joins us now on the Megacast. Sheila, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me here. It's nice to see everybody.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. How have you been? How's your team doing?
Doing well. We have opened today is the first day we've opened for people to come in. So it's been a little bit of a struggle having been closed several weeks, but we got everything in place and we're ready to go.
Well, that's good to hear. So it's your first time reopening the doors to your shop specifically right now for people to come on in.
Yes.
While this has been going on, have you been taking online orders? What's been going on with your business? How have you kept the business moving and alive?
We did have to close it was 6 to 7 weeks. We opened up just before Mother's Day, and we were doing contactless deliveries and curbside pickups. So we did get a little bit of a start there. It has been a slow start, but looking forward to seeing things grow now that we're open again fully.
So under this new normal that we're in, people need to be wearing masks, social distancing needs to be encouraged, you need to have your surfaces be clean to make sure that the virus isn't spreading through fomites and so on. What challenges have you had in operating under this new normal and preparing to open today with COVID-19 in mind?
Well, thankfully, because in the floral industry, you do have to keep your surfaces cleaned and keep all of your equipment clean so that you stop the spread of bacteria among the fresh flowers. I did have some stock of wipes, Lysol, Clorox bleach. However, as after the beginning shift happened, that has been the biggest challenge. So now I'm stocked up again with the Lysol, have all of the Clorox wipes so that we can keep everything clean. Oakland County was very gracious and had some kits available to us, so we now have signage that we can put up reminding everybody to keep their mask on and social distance, and have hand sanitizer out for everyone, keeping things wiped down continuously, particularly with the pay systems that we use now. Often it is a system where you're signing with your finger. So we have to keep that very clean and get some stylus pens in so that people can use those. And those are things that you have to remember to clean, that you're cleaning all of the pens, every counter space, things that we might have done once or twice a week. Now we have to do after every transaction, basically.
Well, we've seen a lot with restaurants. Dave Scott is over at the Grill in Sylvan Lake today, and we talked earlier with Stoli Lodi from the Prime 29 Steakhouse in West Bloomfield about changes that they're making to the layout of their business, where things are, where people are going, those directions that people are moving throughout the space. We've seen that a lot in grocery stores as well, with arrows pointing people in certain directions to maintain social distancing. Are any of those kinds of changes to be expected at Sprigs Floral Expression?
We do have entrances in the front and back of the building, so we are making sure that from the back building, there's really only one direction, so we have to keep that aisle as a two-way, but we keep the distance of anybody that's in here. And then in the front, the center floor is large enough that they'll just kind of loop around, and there will be some directional arrows to show that loop that should be maintained.
Well, that's good to hear that you're putting those measures in. As far as training for your staff, have you, with this time that you've been away from the store and people haven't been in there as far as customers are concerned, you and your staff have you had to undergo any sort of training to prepare for this new normal you're operating on? Because it's got to be wildly different than the operations pre-COVID-19.
Oh, it is very different. Especially contactless delivery is very different for us, and also taking some precautions with how we're packaging packages. For people that have maybe that lowered immune system in particular, we are now spraying things down with Lysol before they go out. If people have family that are in senior living homes or assisted living homes, there's different procedures that we've had to meet on and discuss so that we know. Those are always sprayed with Lysol, which is something that we would not normally do with our product, but we're doing that, spraying the wrap that goes around it. Obviously, I'm not wearing it, but I have my mask here, so we do have masks available that everyone wears when we're in proximity to each other, if we're either all in the front or in the back area. So we've definitely had some changes that we've had to make, and we'll continue to meet on it, keep up to date whenever there are updates coming out from the governor on anything that's changed, and any updates from the county or from the city.
Joined on the Oakland County Megacast with Sheila Clayton, the owner of Sprigs Floral Expression in Auburn Hills. Sheila, you're operating a small business. We talked earlier in this program with the CEO of the Small Business Association of Michigan, or SBAM, Rob Fowler. And earlier on, last week actually, the Small Business Association of Michigan put out a survey to businesses throughout the state, and it was reported in those surveys that 6 in 7 small businesses say that their sales declines are the biggest concern. 60% of them expect drops of 25% or more. 1 in 7 of the surveyed businesses said they don't believe that they will survive the results of the pandemic. Are you worried coming back now that the sales lost potentially from foot traffic could be catastrophic, or are you feeling confident that Sprigs Floral Expression in Auburn Hills is going to recover nicely and will have a bright future ahead of itself?
This year has definitely changed for me. I only opened my business June of last year. So in my first year, which is always a struggle for a small business, I was really looking forward to this year because a large part of my business is weddings and banquets. And this year was full of those. Those have all been either moved to next year or they've been moved to much smaller groups. And only in the last month have I had a couple of wedding groups, one that actually purchased some things to go to Ohio, and then another small one that has dramatically changed my business. I believe I will survive this. That is my plan. I think a large part of that is just because I am so new. I was fortunate not to have taken on a great deal of debt yet that I had to kind of work through. But declining sales are definitely a challenge. It's also going to affect me next year because of those weddings and banquets that were moved out to next year. That's reduced, income for this year that will roll into next year because new brides and grooms that are looking for venues and florists are going to have to work around all of that rescheduled as well.
Joined by Sheila Clayton, the owner of Sprigs Floral Expression in Auburn Hills on the Oakland County Megacast. Just another moment left with you before we have to move on to our next guest. So from a gloomier standpoint of the economic situation, the small business situation in Michigan to now, you're reopened, and we can have some optimism now. You're reopened, your doors are back open, customers will be coming back and hopefully purchasing some plants and some flowers very soon. So for those who are coming back now and they haven't maybe been able to get their garden going or decorate their home with some beautiful flowers, what are your recommendations right now to kind of brighten up their environment with some nice flowers?
There are a lot of options. It's a great time to be getting flowers. The pricing, we originally had issues with our wholesalers getting product in, and now that is kind of normalizing again for us. So there's a lot of variety that's available, and we are working with any budget because we understand that there are a lot of people that have been off of work recently. So we can accommodate any budget to get some nice bright flowers in. And it is shown through studies that flowers do help to reduce stress and depression. They will make you a little happier just to look at that each day.
Well, hopefully bright times ahead for you, for your business as well, and for all of us here in Oakland County and throughout the state of Michigan as we slowly but surely emerge from the end of this pandemic. Sheila Clayton, the owner of Sprigs Floral Expressions in Auburn Hills, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
You as well. Thank you very much, Sheila.